Welcome back. As you know, I am Eli, the computer guy, here for the Daily Blob, where I shake my brain nipples every day so I can get some of that dirty YouTube money so I can afford to provide you folks in-person, hands-on technology education that empowers you to do whatever the hell it is you want to do in Durham, North Carolina. Silicon Dojo, silicondojo.com. We did a class last night on AI and SQL. We have a class coming up on AI and web scraping on November 19th. If you're interested in any of those kind of classes, they are in-person classes. You can take a look at silicondojo.com to see what our schedule is. Do remember, free to the end user is not free. As I've been whining about lately, I'm finding out that toner costs a lot of money, right? I create these workbooks here for people to use during the classes. Holy crap. So if you want to throw some money in to help support the project, there is a donor box link down below. Yeah, I don't... This is gonna come as a surprise. It's gonna come as a surprise to some people watching my videos, but yeah, I don't think Trump's plans are working. What? No. What do you mean? Well, yeah, we are trying to threaten China by not sending them our AI hardware, right? NVIDIA is not allowed to send AI hardware. AMD is only allowed to send certain AI hardware there, right? There's this idea that we can stop the Chinese progression by not giving them our AI hardware, and it appears that China doesn't care. China doesn't care. It's like we're trying to hold a carrot. We're trying to hold a carrot in front of them, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm allergic to carrots. I don't want carrots. That's not doing what you think it is." So yeah, this is coming from Tom's Hardware again. Interesting. China bans foreign AI chips from state-funded data center, report claims. Crackdown would include removing NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel chips from builds in early stages. Not only are they banning our chips from going into new data centers, but basically data centers that have already been built to about a 30% degree. Any of our AI hardware that is in those data centers is supposed to be fucking ripped and replaced. Remember when Congress was so cocky about Huawei equipment and they demanded that American companies rip and replace Huawei equipment here in the United States? Yeah, that apparently is what China is doing, right? They don't want our crap. Which is, this is a new wrinkle in the story. China has reportedly issued a sweeping ban on foreign AI chips in any data center backed by government money, according to a report by Reuters. The move applies retroactively to builds still in early stages. So again, this is interesting here. This isn't simply going in the future. Okay, anybody else building a new data center, you have to plan it based off of using Huawei or whatever hardware. This is even data centers that have already been built to some capacity, that their crap has to be ripped and replaced. Meaning accelerators from NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel may need to be removed or replaced if already installed. The report, citing unnamed sources with direct knowledge, claims regulators have instructed state-funded projects to use only Chinese-made silicon going forward. That includes domestic chips from Huawei, Cambricorn, and Inflame, among others. While the official directive has not been published, the guidance would mark a formal shift from earlier policies that merely discouraged foreign chip purchases. Under the new diktat, even parts like NVIDIA's H20, a model specifically designed to comply with U.S. export controls, will now be off the table. This follows Chinese crackdowns on all NVIDIA imports in early October. Projects that are less than 30% complete. So that's a lot. Like, if you're looking at some of these data center projects, you hear 30%, you're like, yeah, 30% complete for a data center. That can be a lot of build out already, right? Projects that are less than 30% complete are allegedly being told to abandon or remove any foreign chips already in use. The guidance appears to target not only the H20, but also NVIDIA's higher end H200 and B200, which are restricted under US export rules, but have still made their way into Chinese data centers through unofficial channels. That flow of gray market parts may now face stricter internal scrutiny, with implications for training clusters already under construction. And so that's one of the interesting things, especially with NVIDIA's rise as a new $5 trillion company, right, is a lot of their products have still wound up in China. Right? China has been the end buyer for billions and billions and billions of dollars of NVIDIA products, right? And so we have the Trump administration all like, "Oh, this is wrong. They're illegally buying the hardware." But here's the thing, for a corporation, Billions of dollars of illegally purchased hardware looks the same on the profit loss statements as billions of dollars of legally purchased hardware. So one of the curious things with this going on now is if China really shuts down that flow of those gray market GPUs and things going into China, I mean, that could put a ding in NVIDIA. Over the past 2 years, China has funneled more than $100 billion into AI infrastructure projects, most of them aligned with provincial or national goals for data sovereignty. That public investment is what gives Beijing's directive real teeth. So basically the idea, Beijing is putting out a lot of money. If you want this money, then you can't buy barbarian GPUs. And let's face it, and even if you're not getting our money, we're not gonna look at it too nicely if you have those barbarian GPUs. So maybe don't use those GPUs. And I'll be curious to see where this goes in the future. Again, you have a market of 1.4 billion people in China as they're developing their AI infrastructure. There's a tremendous amount of investment into that particular industry, and then where they can take it in the next few years could be absolutely amazing. And I think about it right now, right? Huawei is the largest network equipment manufacturer in the entire world, right? They are at the bleeding edge of 5G and going into 6G technology. There is the idea that somehow the United States could destroy Huawei, and they're even coming out with their own full-fledged desktop computer. Apparently they have their own desktop computer now. Not only does it have Harmony OS, which is their operating system, apparently it has their own chip. So it's theirs. It's a Chinese computer. And so it'll be interesting to see, again, over about the next decade, is as their technology advances and as we do whatever the hell it is we're doing, where that's all going to shake down at the end of the day. So what do you think about this? What do you think about the Chinese government literally banning foreign AI chips into data centers being paid for by the Chinese government? How do you think that bodes for our AI industry? Do you feel like America? Do you feel like the Yankees are winning this particular war? It's amazing how many wars we get into that we lose. Korean War, Vietnam War, war on poverty, war on drugs, war on obesity, Gulf War, Afghanistan. We're just really good at losing wars. Is this going to be another one? I don't know. Put your thoughts down below. If you like these videos, give us a thumbs up. If you hate these videos, give us a thumbs down. Call me amazing. Call me a moron. Just be a real Lutnick and do it down there in the comment section. Do you remember what I actually care about at Silicon Dojo? SiliconDojo.com. Free to end user hands-on technology education that empowers you to do whatever the hell it is you want to do. These are in-person classes in Durham, North Carolina. You come, you learn things, you go the hell away. We just did a class on AI and SQL. We're about to do a class on web scraping with AI on November 19th. We have more classes coming up. Take a look at SiliconDojo.com to see what our current schedule is. And remember, free to the end user is not actually free. Costs money. Toner costs money. So if you'd like to throw some money in, help support the project, there's a donor box link down below. And with that, see y'all later.